I'm going to share today 5 mistakes that kept me far away from reaching my financial goals earlier. I used the word earlier because if you have the chance today to make these changes, I can tell you that you'll be in a much better situation. This is coming from me, and these mistakes are things that I identified only after years, because I am an African immigrant and I have been in the UK for 20 years, and trust me, I only realized most of these things over the past 8 or 9 years. So imagine that they say time is the most valuable thing we have. If only we are more informed early on, we will make better financial decisions, and ultimately we might get to our goal of financial freedom quicker. Anyway, hi, if this is the first time that you've seen one of my videos, my name is Lulu and this is Lulu Diaries, where I share things that I wish I knew to my younger self, things that I have learned, and things that I will tell somebody coming to the UK or abroad for the first time, or just ladies in their 40s, because I turned 40 last year, and boy oh boy, I have learned a lot since then. Without messing about too much, let's go straight into the video, and I'll tell you guys to watch up to the last point, because each of these points I have taken time to put them together, and the fourth is of paramount importance. So the first point I'm going to make is the importance of knowing about your finances. I know that sometimes if you're in a bad place financially, you prefer not to know. You know, if you've had a bad maybe month, especially if you, like Christmas, you've gone over the top, or you've had a celebration and you've gone over your budget, most times you don't really want to know how your account looks like, because you just feel like, I cannot look at it because it's all red. If that's a one-off, it's different. But if you feel that way all the time, where opening your app or even looking at your account balance on your bank accounts seems to be a topic that you thread and you avoid, you have a problem, or you might be avoiding the inevitable. So I'll say that the best thing to do is not run away or say what if. It's tackling it. It's knowing what the next steps are. And this is something that I was very good at, burying my head in the sand, I'll say, or just pretending that these problems did not exist. For the first maybe 5 or 8 years, with so much debt and just being in a bit of a messy situation, I always avoided tackling the problem. So what I'll say is, first and foremost, understand your financial situation. Understand the numbers every month. You don't have to do a fancy sheet. Just, if you want, actually have one that is easy and is free, you can download it, but that's not the point of this. I'll put that in the description. But what I'll say is, have a sheet where you're able to just know monthly what your bills are, direct debits, your essentials, things that will help you function every month. So all of your bills, your transport and your feeding. Have this number in your mind and check your account regularly. With this same point, I'm going to just mention that know your credit rating. Your credit rating is the way the country, how you are assessed about your credit worthiness. I'm adding it to this point because a lot of times we know that there are free tools to kind of help us track what our credit ratings are, but we prefer not to know because you're thinking, I have this bad thing. Knowing is best. I'll tell you guys a very quick story. There was once that we're talking now maybe 14 years ago, I went somewhere and I parked, I paid, but for some reason I think I missed it by 5 minutes. Now a letter was sent home, and during that period we sold and moved houses, and I was none the wiser. I did not have any clue. Okay, I knew that I had my credit file, but because I was not looking to do anything, because what most people do is either looking to maybe buy or get involved in some sort of financial transaction, they tidy their accounts for like 8 to 9 months, which is fine. It's just common sense. And then they pay for the extras, like you have Equifax, you have Experian, you can pay for the professional so that it gives you detailed breakdown. But there are other quick ones that you can check, like Check My File and Clear Score. They are all free versions where you can have an idea of what your rating is. That will really help you. But for me, during that period, I had no business. So come 6 months from there, I wanted something very basic. Like, I think it was like a car finance, which is not that rigorous. And guess what? I was declined, and I was thinking, what? I've been tidying up myself. So I went and checked. They said I had almost gone to the courts. And I thought, I don't have none of that. And I checked, it was like £70. The parking was £35. It went to 70, then solicitors fees. Before I knew it, luckily I could set it aside because it'd only be there for less than 2 years. So I cleared it off. But that was when I realized that I have to keep my eyes really close to my credit file. Use the free ones. And if you're looking to embark on something big, go for the paid versions of Experian or Equifax. And thank me later. Don't make the same mistakes. Point 2. I have learned that to stay financially stable or to actually achieve financial freedom long term, live below your means. I have said this, and a lot of us don't realize what this means. I am not saying that live like a scrounger. I'm not saying that live a miserable life and don't have any leisures. What I'm saying is, when you're going out to acquire something big that will take your finances, an example is a home, because your home is one of the biggest financial commitments you'll ever have. If you're going to get a home, ensure that you go for a home a lot less than what you can actually afford. Let's give an example. If you have been cleared, or you can afford, say, 3 times what you earn or 4 times what you earn, and you earn, say, 50,000 a year pounds, you can go for a 200,000 house. Maybe you should go for 130,000 or 140, because in that way you're not overstretched and you're not just living hand to mouth. You have a little buffer of money that you can either choose to save or reinvest, or just have an emergency fund in case something happened to you. And still on this point, I've also learned to live below my means across everything. If you're eating out regularly, check how much that costs and just go backwards on what you earn every month and see if it's something that you can actually afford. Think about several things, even shopping. And you don't have to break the bank to look beautiful. And I'm going to talk about what I'm wearing today. I'm wearing this. This is a timeless piece of jewelry. I love this. This is from Ana Luisa. They are my go-to plug if I'm looking for affordable pieces that are very unique and you'll stand out. Look at this earring as well. I got this from one of the collections. It's beautiful. It's extremely affordable, in fact, and the beauty is that they are very aware of the climate, so they're carbon neutral, so the environment, so they're carbon neutral and have little effect on the planet. So for me, if you know anything about me, I am big on saving the planet as it is to be sustainable long term. The quality is unmatched. It's hypoallergenic because I am very sensitive. My skin is quite sensitive, so I make sure that jewelry pieces that I wear are up to standards, and this is one of them. It's water resistant, and even what makes it even more exciting is that you have 2 years guarantee on all of the products, so you don't have to worry much about this. And pieces start from $39. We are not only excited about the fact that pieces start at $39 each, we love the fact that the more you buy, the more you can save. And if you're in the US, it's fast and free shipping. Anywhere else, very affordable rates of shipping, and you can get them really fast. So if I were you, I'll go get myself one of these pieces from Ana Luisa to look chic, to look good. And a lot of you have been asking me how I keep myself looking young, and that'll be a separate video, but for now I just thought that we're talking about money, so let me talk about ways that you can look nice, you can look elegant without necessarily breaking the bank, and get yourself some timeless, beautiful pieces. The designs are very unique. You would not see them anywhere else. Let's go to point number 3. The third thing that I have learned in the hard way is not to ignore letters. If you live in the UK, you know that they're still quite heavy on posts, on actually paper records. There are some things that have become automated and can be sent online, but a lot of things that we get still important documents. If you have a mortgage, don't joke with it. When we're looking to pay off our Help to Buy scheme, I realized that there was a lot of paperwork that I had luckily not gotten rid of, and it saved me so much money from my lawyers, because once you engage and you start asking for documents, you start getting charged £200 for this, for that, and it makes the process a lot lengthier than it's meant to be. This is the same thing even with your tax, with your NI records, making sure that you're not paying too much tax, making sure that you've paid all of your taxes as well. The times that when you're struggling financially and you see the post, I have been in that position where when the post comes, you pretend, you look at it, you try to gauge who has sent it, you try to look and see, is this from somebody who is giving me bad news, or can I manage it? We all have been there, but running away from your post is not fixing it. Similar to what happened with my parking ticket, I had something similar as well, where I had already moved houses, but for some reason they still had me on the electoral register, and a certain bill came in and it got split across everybody. That bill followed me to my home, and because I kept thinking, I don't want to see any brown envelopes. I started differentiating the color of envelopes, brown, white. If I see the NHS stamp, I'm thinking it's a letter from the GP. You should not ignore letters. Not knowing is not bliss. Look at your letters, because that could be the difference between you having a bad credit or even losing money. There's a time that you had to check your tax and share. So if you're a couple and you earn less than a certain amount of money, you can actually have a relief of what you earn and share that with your partner. Look at all of those things. So do not ignore the posts. It's tempting to, but try not to. Ignorance can never be bliss. Next thing I'll talk about is not starting a side hustle earlier. I'll say exactly 5 years ago now, the bug bit me. Like most of us in 2020, we started thinking out of the box because we had free time. Okay, we had time to search and see what we could use the time or the extra money we'd saved from not traveling, not going into the office, and we're thinking of ways to reinvest this. And a lot of entrepreneurs were born. Few people who were born in that era are working for themselves and have achieved financial freedom, or are just doing what they love to do. Now, I'm saying this because once I realized that 5 years ago, I started thinking, I wish I could have engaged in these things years ago. It's never too early to start a side hustle. A side hustle is as it is. It should not hamper, it should not disturb, or it should not affect your day job. It should enhance what you earn monthly by just having this extra income. Think about ways that you can earn money. There are several side hustles, and I've done a complete video on this, which I'm going to pin up, where I shared side hustle ideas. And I can say this, that if you start a side hustle and you put all the effort and the time, in no time you'll be making extra money, which could either be invested in your S&P 500 if you're into stock buying, or into investing in the stock market. I'm not saying you should go and start making, go into risks and all that. No, I always feel like you should go index funds and spread your money across. But side hustles or investments are a good way to start building your portfolio of wealth. And if you want to venture even bigger, you can think about investing in property. But don't sit down with money that you have in the bank and just do nothing with it and think that, oh, I have money and I will achieve freedom. That money will not make money for you. So make sure that you get to that mindset of having a side hustle. For me, as an example, my side hustles were quite intensive at the time. Time intensive. I was actually designing products and selling them on Amazon, on eBay, and it was flying off the shelves. But it meant that I needed time at night to talk to my suppliers in China, and I couldn't cope because of my day job. But now digital products has helped a lot. There are several ways to sell products online. It doesn't have to be a course or a master class. There are several things. Templates is a good one. What do you do for a living? Your main job, you could teach people about how to get into that field. It's not even tricky. It's very straightforward. You can start a YouTube channel, which is something that I do, and of course the extra I make by the side helps me certain months, and I'm saving that for the future. I talked about not leaving money in your bank and investing it. That goes nicely to point number 5. I believe strongly that most of us watching this video right now don't even understand the importance of saving in the right savings account. I did not realize this till I went into my bank about 9 years ago, and this lovely lady said, why do you have this money in this particular digital savings account? I actually bank with NatWest, by the way, like my main provider, but at the time I had my mortgage with somebody else. But I went just to to make some printouts, to tidy my accounts, to get my insurance, because I have a bank account that gives me extra. If you want to find out about that, let me know, and I'll tell you about the best ways to maximize your bank accounts. Anyway, so she advised that, why do you have this money in this? And she opened me a high interest savings account. The only downside is that because mine is quite high, it's about 6 to 8%, there's only so much you can put every month. There's like a limit to what you can. Some people have 300, 150, 200, depending on what your finances look like, and you should maximize that amount because you cannot put more than that, and that yields me so much in a year. If I knew about this years ago, I would have made a lot of money from my money sat down in the wrong accounts. Same point is also thinking about lifetime ISA accounts or Help to Buy. Mine was pathetic. When I was looking to buy my first home, talking now almost 9-10 years ago, there was the government scheme, which obviously there was like an ISA where you'd have a top up. If you've saved a certain amount of money, the government tops it up. I did not know about that from the onset. I was only informed later, and I did not reach the maximum. At the time, it was £15,000. I'm not very abreast with what it is now, but do your research. If you're looking to buy, don't just save in a normal account. Get a lifetime ISA that will give you benefit because the government will top it up. And before you make that purchase, don't withdraw the money. I made that mistake, and it cost me £3,000. That mistake cost me the government not topping up because I had to exchange contracts and I withdrew the money. You'd have to pass the money through a solicitor in a right manner for you to get the benefit. So these are things that nobody told me. I had no idea, but I'm saying that think, educate yourself, read, get informed what's happening in financial markets. If you're looking to get into stock or investments, don't go blind. Don't do anything that you're not sure of. And of course, they say if you don't take risk, you don't get benefits, but take calculated financial risk, and generally try as much as possible to be good with your money. Try to remember that you must have a buffer or an emergency fund. I've talked about that in another video in detail, which I'm going to put at the end of this video. If you want to find out how that works, then click on that video. And if you found this video helpful, give us a like. And if you've not subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Subscribe. And I just want to thank you guys for all of your support all the time. I don't take you guys for granted. But before we go, if you're looking for some timeless pieces, you want to look very elegant, chic, without breaking the bank, check out Ana Luisa. I'm going to put a link to their website. Check them out and thank me later because I know you will be loving them. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye. Bye.